If you want to learn more about the lives of your ancestors, prison registers can be incredibly helpful. My name is Emma Maxwell. I'm a genealogist here in Scotland and co-founder of ScottishIndexes.com. We host an index to a growing number of Scottish prison registers. In this video, I'll show you why prison registers are so useful, what information they contain. I'll also show how you can use our index and how you can access the original records. We go to the National Records of Scotland in Edinburgh. We consult original prison registers like this one and index the key information. We are incredibly grateful to our many volunteers who have helped with this project over the years. The index entry alone can be really useful as you do your research. It can actually help you to trace your family before civil registration begins in Scotland and before the 1851 census was taken. Information such as birthplace can be very specific, whereas in the 1841 census, we're only told if a person was born in that county or not, which is not always incredibly helpful. And if an ancestor was born in Ireland, even later censuses may simply say Ireland. But in our index and in the prison register, we're giving a specific place. These records also add to what you already know. The structure that's given by the civil registration records and the census is very important. But what did your ancestors do between the census years? So why consult prison registers? The original registers themselves will give you much more information than we see in the index. We'll see the crime that they committed, and we will be given personal information as well. So, for example, you might find somebody's eye colour or any identifying marks. Now, again, it's really interesting to find out how tall your ancestors were, what eye colour they had, what hair colour they had. Sometimes as well, somebody's imprisoned along with an accomplice, so that can be very useful. And the original register will tell us what the outcome was. Did the case go to court? How long was their sentence? Were they transferred to another prison or were they released? Now, this is an interesting entry. Mary Thompson, alias Mary Jane Thompson, alias Mary III. Well, Mary had a lot of aliases, but she had something else as well. You see, Mary had had a relationship with a man named Robert Wood, and they had a child together in December 1862. Now, sadly, the baby died when he was just 4 months old. We know Mary went on to have other relationships and other children, and there's no indication from the records that her relationship with Robert was ever rekindled. Mary was in and out of prison many times, but the prison register in 1865 is very interesting. Her identifying mark is a tattoo, MT, Mary III, and RW, Robert Wood. We're told that this was on her right arm. We also see that they have drawn what was tattooed on her arm, 2 love hearts with an arrow through. Now, we know Robert Wood was a merchant seaman, and there's a tradition of sailors having tattoos, and I just wonder if he had a matching one. Perhaps we'll never know. Surely, though, for Mary, this was a lifelong reminder, not just of a lost love, but also of a lost child. This is just one example why prison registers are so important when you're tracing your family history. So go to our website, Scottish Indexes, click on Record Sets, and select Scotland's Criminal Database. You can now make a search for your ancestor. Find the entry that you're interested in and click More Detail. On this page, you can see the full index entry and confirm that this is the person that you're looking for. It's also on this page that we give you the reference. Now, if this is definitely the person you're looking for, the very first thing you want to do is make a note of this. Record that wherever you record your family tree, whether that's in a notebook, it's in documents on your computer, or it's an online tree, because that means in the future you'll be able to refer back to it. We've got an easy to select copy and paste source citation at the foot of every page to make this even easier. Now, if you live in Scotland, you can visit the National Records of Scotland and view the record in person. Or in fact, if you're planning to visit Scotland, you could organise to do that. Your other option is to use our research service to help you access the record. We charge a flat fee of £5 for this, and the image is usually emailed to you within 24 hours. Another option is to search the newspaper to see if there's any mention of this crime. Now, that can be really helpful, but you might not get quite the same information that you would in a prison register, so it's generally good to look at both. So what's our order process? Well, before too long, you should receive an email from us acknowledging your order. This will tell you when you can expect to receive the full entry. We'll then email you the search results and attach a digital image or more than one digital image to that email. All of this is usually done within 48 hours, but we're a small business, so at busy times or weekends, it can occasionally take slightly longer than that. Perhaps you're wondering though why you can't find somebody in the index when you know the person was in prison. There's a few reasons for this. It could simply be that we've not indexed that prison register yet. If you go to our coverage pages, you'll be able to see our progress so far. Now, although survival rate for Victorian-era prison registers is very good, there's some that have not survived. If you go to our learning zone and look for Scottish prison registers, you'll find a list of the ones that we know to have survived. Perhaps then you've ascertained that we simply haven't indexed the relevant volume yet. Can we still make a search? Yeah, we can. You don't need to wait for it to be indexed. Just contact us, give us the information you've got, and if the register survives, we can make a search for you. So you've found your ancestor, you've placed your order, but you've not received it. Well, first of all, I'm very sorry if that has happened to you. First thing you could do for us, could you check your spam folder? If we've not emailed you before, and we've now emailed you with an attachment, it's possible it's been misinterpreted as spam. However, if you can't see an email from us, please don't hesitate to get in touch. Just use the Contact Us page for the relevant email address. So you've now received your order, but the image appears fuzzy. Well, we do try to make sure that all of the images are really high quality. One reason we've found for fuzzy images or images that appear to be fuzzy is that it's being shown as a preview from an email browser. Could you please try to download the image first rather than viewing it in the email? Something else that people might do is print out the image, perhaps on A4 or letter-sized paper. Now, this is not going to work because these prison registers are really, really big. They're over a metre wide, and actually some of them can be very, very heavy as well. So if you print the image onto A4 or letter-sized paper, the writing is going to be tiny and it's going to be really, really difficult to read. In fact, you might find that if you're looking at this on a phone, it could equally be very difficult. You might want to try using a larger device, maybe a tablet or even a laptop. Maybe you've tried all these things though and you realise that actually the image is clear but you just can't read the writer. Some of it can be quite challenging. We offer a transcription service, so please just reply to the email and inquire about that. Perhaps your ancestor was in and out of prison multiple times. You need a lot of entries. Can we offer a discount? Yeah, we sure can. Please just email us. If you're looking for 5 or more entries, we're happy to offer a discount. If you could email us with a list of entries you like, and please include the URL for each entry. So that's the unique web address that's at the top of the page, and that'll just make sure that we know which entries you're looking for. Again, just use the Contact tab at the top of any page on our website to get in touch with us. Do all prison registers give the same information? No, they don't. Particularly in the early days, pre-1840, they can be a lot briefer. But as with any historical document, the information that's provided often depends on who was compiling the record. And in fact, sometimes we get extra information. So the Clark and Paisley, he used the final column, the remarks column, to list family members who had been in prison before, which is really, really useful, but quite unusual. Will there be a photograph? No, there will not. These prison registers that we are indexing do not have photographs, so you're not going to find one here. Now, a few photographs have survived. General terms, though, when we think about the numbers of people in prison, they're relatively rare to actually find a photograph of a particular person. However, you could try the collections at the National Records of Scotland and also the Aberdeen City and Aberdeenshire archives. They do have collections of criminal portraits, so it's worth checking those out. Did you know? Married women are usually entered under their maiden surnames and married surnames. This means that identifying our female ancestors can be quite easy. You can search the index using both surnames, or just use one surname but look out for the additional surname in the search results. Did you know? Prisoners were often transferred between prisons. For example, if someone committed a crime in Hawick, they may have been held in the Hawick prison, but then transferred to Jedburgh when it was time for their trial. That means that you could find the person in both prison registers. Following their trial, some people were moved to larger prisons, perhaps the general prison, so you might see that someone was transferred to Perth or Berlin, depending on the time period. Did you know? Prison registers give trial information. This can be a clue for us to go and find other court records, even when they've not been indexed. Check out our Sheriff Court Criminal Records video to find out how to do that. I hope this has been beneficial to you. We've got lots more information in our Learning Zone, and please join us for the next conference. Simply click on the Conference tab at the top of the website to find out more about the next conference.